Hey, my name is Jen. A few days ago, I created a list on social media called Helpful Things to Do While Visiting Your Parents for the Holidays, and it wound up catching on and going a teeny bit viral. And I heard from so many people who were adding to the list and thanking me for creating one because maybe they don't live very closely or hadn't thought of it. So I do think it would be good to just put all those comments in one place and maybe expand upon the list because I forgot things too. We all have different relationships, strengths, weaknesses. So this is not a one size fits all list. Not all of these are going to apply to your parents or be things that you're capable of. I have a really bad spine and like chronic pain, so like I can't do a lot of the physical stuff myself, but it's just things to keep in mind. It's not complete. If you do live far away, maybe, or only get the chance to check in occasionally, and you're interested, here's some things, yeah, you might not think about. So here we go. Number one, change their remote, smoke alarm, and flashlight batteries. Sometimes those are really hard to open, especially with arthritis. Even the Fire Stick remote, especially, or the Roku, was harder to open for people with arthritis. So I would say change that out every once in a while. Make sure they're logged in on all their apps, on, every device that they use, like Roku and Fire Stick and Smart TV, whatever they use a lot. Make sure that they are logged in and that it's linked, from the phone to the TV. That can be a challenge for some people now that we have the QR code. So just make sure all of that stuff is in good working order. I would say also turn off the motion smoothing setting on their television, that thing that makes everybody and everything look like you're watching a soap opera 24/7. Get rid of that. You don't need it. Makes movies look strange, and I think they will thank you for it. Making movies look like the movies that are supposed to look, and cartoons look better too. Just anything they're watching. You might want to put on the closed captioning. I personally love it. I'm a writer and I was a film critic for 20 years. So I love closed captioning. I love knowing if I'm missing something or what someone's saying, especially if I'm writing tons of notes on dialogue. I love a good closed captioning. And your parents might too. Ask them about their preferences. If they're being very stubborn, maybe they don't want it. But, I would say try it, watch a movie or two with them with it, and see what they think. Check the fire extinguisher's expiration date. I typed this and somebody immediately was like, I didn't know it had an expiration date. And, it might not be something you think about, and your parents might not either. There are things on the web, good instructions on how to check these things and how to maintain the fire extinguisher. Just all of the emergency stuff in the house, I would say take a good look at. Change the furnace filter. That is something that thwarts a lot of our relatives and seniors. It's hard to do sometimes with fingers and, old-fashioned furnaces. So just change that filter, helps with the dust, and so they're not breathing that in as well. Uh, this one is, I think, going to really ring a bell for people, and it might appeal. It's nothing you think about often. This one was inspired by my mom. I've been caring for her after her knee surgery, and she loves writing things down. She's always been someone who loves writing things down, so it's no wonder I'm a writer. But it's put post-its and pens in the rooms that they spend the most time in so they can write things down. Sometimes they think of a grocery. I mean, I do the same thing. You take a shower, you think of a grocery item, or something pops in your head. Just make sure that things are accessible so they can write any of these ideas down. You can even put it like groceries, and say you do it too, and that will help. Anything physical or repairs that they haven't gotten to, like a light in the shower or putting together small furniture items. Some of those are really tricky. I had trouble like a couple weeks ago with a lamp with the worst instructions like ever. And I got the thing together, and then the shade was, it was a lot. And so when I experienced that and started putting together things for after the surgery, I thought, no wonder it is frustrating. And, I am a younger person, but I was even challenged. So think about that. Maybe try to put together those little end tables or side tables or whatever they would like. Yeah, definitely. Yard work is another one. I mean, I live in Arizona, so we can do this year round, but whatever it is, shoveling heavy snow or salting the sidewalks or just anything that you need to do outside, weeding, gardens, anything, can be really helpful if you did that. Again, with the physical, I would say heavy groceries. I am a big believer because I do have kind of a limit on what I can lift, and obviously she does too. I'm a big believer in getting delivery from groceries and then tipping well, especially if they have to deliver a lot of heavy things. But I would say if you're able, go to the store and get those heavy things, especially, and put them away, like 24 packs of water, heavy dog food, cat food, just whatever it is, tons of canned goods, anything that's heavy. Install a toilet topper. This is a really good idea. Grab bars, any like things that you can screw in the wall that would help with balance, or making sure that they have the support they need should they need it. I think a chair in the shower is a brilliant idea. They have shower chairs and stuff right at Walgreens or CVS, so you don't have to look too hard. I remember back in the day, you had to go to like healthcare places to find these things, but now they are everywhere. You can get them at Target, you can get them at Walmart, wherever you need. Check their lint trap. That's a good idea. Somebody came up with that. They said, they never checked it and realized, oh my gosh, that was a fire waiting to happen. Consider getting rid of rugs that are easy to trip on. I was a volunteer in a nursing home and worked there for a little bit when I was younger. And one thing we would always find is that unfortunately, when an older person does fall, it kind of precipitates the aging and it kind of can go downhill from there. So you want to try to do the best you can to make sure that they don't fall. And so those rugs are a hazard. They might be cute, they might be amazing, they need to go. Also, shag carpeting, like get rid of some of that stuff that might be in your parents' house. Yes, I would say clean things that might be harder for them, like dusting the tops of bookcases, tops of ceiling fans, anything that's out of reach, too hard. Notice if they need new glasses, a hearing aid, or assistive devices. This is a sensitive one because nobody wants to admit that their hearing isn't quite as sharp, I wouldn't, as it was, or, that they can't maybe see as easily close up or far away, but just kind of have an eye on that. Also, assistive devices, if they do occasionally use a cane, but they're proud and they don't like it, make sure it's within reach. Like, just to have, you could say just to make me feel better. Whatever you need to do, I think is a good idea. And again, you can put it on yourself. Like, I'm a worrier and I just want to make sure you're okay. Like, just know that it's out of love and you're not scolding them. Definitely. I would say add them onto a family plan of any kind of subscription or apps that you guys share if you can. Like Uber has one as I'm recording this. I don't know about in the future where you can put other people and other phone numbers on your family plan, and you can do that with senior relatives. So that's good in case they're at a doctor's appointment and you can't get to them, or they want an Uber from somewhere and they have trouble with that app, you can just order it right for them and it's good. And because they're in that family plan with you, you can keep track of where the car is for their own safety and, peace of mind. And I think that is good because sometimes, if you would just order an Uber for someone and then they get in, you can't really keep that great of a track on it, or they can't. So I think it's good that it's all in one place now. along these lines. Put your email address or a sibling's, whoever wants to take this on, as the account recovery email in case your parents would get locked out or there would be an emergency and you would need to access their contact list or emails from the doctor or whatever. I would say do that if they're comfortable with it. Personally, my mom has given me, permission to put her phone info and put her email on my phone. So that way, if she gets an email and she's kind of puzzled by it or, kind of concerned, is this legit or not? I'll get a call or a text, like if it's at work, can you go in and check? And then I will go in and check, with her permission. And that's something that you can talk about with your parent if you'd like, especially now that there's so many scams. Or, sometimes they have trouble and they want your help with things in that way. If they do have a complicated medical history, make sure you know it. I would say maybe type it up, especially surgeries they've had, the dates and what it was for, and put it in your wallet and also a copy in their wallet in case there was ever an emergency, there was ever, God forbid, a fall or a heart issue, and they're going through the wallet, they can find that and go, we can't give her sulfa or, penicillin or whatever it is that they might be allergic to. Yeah, for sure. Uh, this one is a little bit of a joke, but kind of not. I said delete Fox News. This was on the web and, got a good laugh. But seriously, if something seems to be stressing them out a lot needlessly, and, nobody needs to be yelled at or scared 24/7, just kind of gently encourage them to watch maybe TCM or HGTV or Tennis Channel or Hallmark or any other channel that they like instead. Talk to them about scams. This kept coming up from people saying my parent fell for this or my grandma fell for that. Especially the fake USPS or the fake UPS scams. Like we tried to deliver and we couldn't because, this package costs more or the tracking number is off or something and they want you to click on a link. Make sure your parents and any of your older relatives and you know about that is a scam. A gift card scam is another one that really hits, and it kind of goes after their kind heart. People have, a sob story that they want to tell in order to get someone to buy them like hundreds of dollars worth of gift cards. Don't. So please tell your parents and tell other people about that. Same with the favorite celebrity is in a jam situation. Like I am in, Singapore or wherever it is, Zimbabwe, or I am in, somewhere that is really far away, so you can't really know. And it's like, no, Britney Spears isn't calling you from Spain trying to get you to, help her out by sending her a gift card or something. So just be aware of that and make sure that they are aware of that too. And, they're in Rome or, they get a call or a text or an email and it just seems off. Again, something else that's going on, especially now that our voices and our faces are all over the web and can be used and manipulated, if they get a call from someone who sounds like you or someone calling on your behalf, that just doesn't seem right, that they should be aware of that. I told my parents that if they get a call and it sounds like me, but kind of not, and I'm like crying, like I was mugged or I was robbed or I'm under arrest or something that seems completely out of the blue and strange, and I need them to wire money or whatever it is, have them ask a security question. There are certain things, of course, that only family and people that are the closest to me would know that I've not shared online. That is the important thing. So maybe not, those questions that go around, what was your first concert and who was your first teacher? Those are usually security questions. So don't answer those, but also think of what's something my parents would know that I've never really shared online, maybe something embarrassing or something odd, that you guys both would know immediately. And so have that person ask the caller. It might be you and it might be a scam. So that's just something to keep in mind. I think, especially in this day and age, things are changing so rapidly. Here's a good one that isn't linked to the internet, and that is make sure that they have and know how to use a blood pressure monitor. That is so important. I remember the first time I got an at-home blood pressure monitor, it was like over $100. It was super expensive, but now you can get them very inexpensively from the drugstore. So I would say do that along the lines of things to check and make sure that they know, maybe check credit card statement if they're comfortable with this. Make sure they're not being charged for any, like go into the Amazon, make sure they're not being charged for any subscription services or any apps that they have no idea that they're paying for. I mean, it's easy. I have done it, like a Spotify trial that keeps going and you can't stop it, or some app you needed once and then they keep charging you, that kind of thing. So just check that, make sure that they're not being taken advantage of. It's really good. Get rid of expired food. Somebody pointed this out and said, that they have to do that in their own house, but their parent might not think of it. Another thing you could do while you're cleaning up is, clean out the dishwasher and the washing machine. They have like tabs and things you can drop in to completely give them, a cleaning, which is good because they might not think about cleaning these things or it might be harder. So just take care of that while you're home. Something you can do every great once in a while or whenever it is. I would say, see if you can put their cell phones into senior mode or something easier that they only need the apps that they use all the time. Just make it a little easier. I think anything you can do there along these lines, just as far as stopping scams and stopping them being taken advantage of, check the security on their Wi-Fi. Make sure that they're using something. My dad for a long time didn't have a password on his Wi-Fi and was always complaining like, why is it so slow? Yeah. So set one up or change it and you'll see like the buffering gets better or people that were using it, or just make sure that that happens. You should periodically change your Wi-Fi password anyway, just to be safe. And then after you do, please know you have to go in manually and do it on your cell phones and Roku and tablets and iPad, do all of that. Yeah. So don't just change it and then leave because they would be completely at a loss. Yes. Hug them a lot. That's something you have to do. These are your parents and your families. And if you don't see them much, we all need touch and we all need affection. Definitely hug them a lot. Take photos. And when you take photos, also send them the photos. Again, from my time that I spent in a nursing home, taking care of people, and I was the person who would visit and listen to the stories of the wallflowers or the people that stayed in their rooms mostly or didn't have people who lived near to visit. And they would always talk about how much it meant to them when they got a photo and how rare it was. So if you do take photos of your kids or your pets or anything cute, make sure you're sending them the photo. It will make their whole week. So do that as well. And, above all, just be a good relative, a loving person, and, do what you can. This, again, is not a one size fits all situation. Everybody has the different things that they can and can't do or are willing to do. And you know what? That's all fine. But if you're interested, I hope some of this helped. Thank you guys. Bye.